Watch me knock that.
Huh?
Are we live?
Yeah, we're totally live.
Ooh, this is exciting.
Hi, everybody.
Do we want to bring it a little bit closer?
We can bring it closer, sure.
I don't know. Do you have enough room on cord?
We're good. Totally good. So, hello, everyone, and welcome to yet another exciting edition of Chattin' with Mr. Dave. Today, we are most pleased to be joined by someone you may know and love, Miss Kanako. Woo! Woo! All right. So, once again, if you're new to the show, I'd like to remind you or introduce you. So we have our guests, and then I will interview our guest, Miss Kanako. And of course, at any time you can type questions or things you want to ask. And but specifically towards the end of the interview, we'll ask you for questions. So if you have any questions you want to ask Ms. Kanako, you can ask, and we'll try our best to answer. We would like to give a shout out to Jolie, Sammy.
Hi, Jolie. Hi, Sammy.
Is that David still there?
Hi, David.
Okay, we've got a couple of people. Okay, great. So I hope you guys at home are doing well and all around the webverse. So anyway, let's get started. Ms. Kanako, this is kind of a fun one for me because I don't even know you very well. We've been working together,
6
for
months.
these past months.
Yeah.
And steady as she goes. But so this will be a learning opportunity for me as well, and I'm very excited. So I hope you guys out there in the blogosphere and the internet highway, the YouTube super highway, very interested as well, and ask good questions. So, but first of all, we'd like to give you the opportunity to introduce yourself.
Great. Hi, grade 4s, and anybody else who's
Jolie says she misses you.
watching.
And me too.
Aw. Hi, Jolie. Mr. Dave, what is Miss Kanako's last name? My last name is Suwa, S-U-W-A.
All right. So there you go. First tidbit of information.
Woohoo!
Kanako Suwa. So anyway, go right ahead. You can introduce yourself.
Okay. Most of you who are watching in grade 4 probably already know me. I'm Miss Kanako. I am from Japan. I was born and raised there. My parents are Japanese. My grandparents are Japanese. All of my family still lives in Japan now. Mm-hmm. And when I was 10 years old in grade 5, I moved to Taipei, which is in the country of Taiwan. And
now, at that time, did your parents go with you, or
Yep.
Okay?
Yeah, we moved because my dad had to work in Taiwan for a couple of years. So I lived there for 5 years. And I went back to Japan for high school. After high school, I went to Boston, which is in the United States of America. I went there to learn how to be a teacher.
Okay. Now, back up just a little bit. So you said you were in Taipei, but what about in Japan? Where were you mostly? Were you always in the same city?
No. So, interesting fact about me.
Fun fact. Here we go.
Is that I have moved around every 4 or 5 years ever since I was born. So before the age of 10, I lived in 3 different cities in Japan. Woo. And then we moved to Taipei, and then I moved back to Osaka, which is my hometown. And then
Osaka.
Yeah,
sounds a cool name.
Right?
Osaka.
I was in Osaka for 3 years. I was in Boston for 4 years. And now I've been here for this is my 3rd year in Vietnam.
Okay. Yeah. Now, am I correct in saying, it says here, I just want to make sure I get my facts straight here, that could you explain, maybe, if you can, I know a lot of pressure here, because you don't speak for all Japanese people, obviously, but I've heard this word prefecture. Prefecture? I don't know. Prefecture. And I don't really. Sometimes I see like, Miss Kanako from the Osaka Prefecture or something. Is that like a state, or how does that work? You know?
Yeah. So Japan has 47 prefectures, which is very similar to a state in the United States.
Okay.
I don't know what the equivalent will be in Vietnam.
Well, it would be the same. Yes, so like maybe like a provinces.
Province?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm from Osaka Prefecture. That is not the city that I am from, because within a prefecture, there's a lot of smaller cities. Right?
Okay. So do you know the prefecture that, like, is it Osaka?
Osaka is the name of the prefecture.
Oh, okay.
And then the capital of the prefecture is called Osaka City.
So you're like from Osaka City.
Yep.
Osaka. So just for real quick fun, if you wouldn't mind, could you say, example, like, hello, my name is Kanako Usua, and I am from Osaka Prefecture in Osaka. Could you do that in Japanese only?
Yeah,
real quick for fun?
Of course.
Would you guys like that? Okay. The chatting is slow, but I'm sure you'll like it because I'm very excited too. Let's hear it. Okay?
Oh, hey, Jolie said, can you say some words in Japanese?
Okay. Okay, let's try.
Cool.
So,
all right. Okay.
Only Japanese.
All right. はじめまして。私の名前は諏訪かな子です。私は大阪府大阪市出身です。
Oh, that was awesome. Wow. So I could hear the Osaka. Could you hear the Osaka? I definitely did. Awesome. Great. Okay. So, now, where were we? So, once again, my notes here say Boston, and I believe, hopefully the fact checkers are right, but this is Boston University.
Yep.
Ooh, got it. So now you enrolled in Boston University.
Yep.
And then I guess now, did you know, is that where you always wanted to go to university? How did you, can you talk a little bit, how did you make a decision?
That was from today's work, wasn't it?
Oh, decision making. How did you make the decision to go there? You know, what was your thought process there?
When I was in grade 8 in middle school, I taught swimming to little kids. And I thought, wow, like teaching is so fun.
Sure.
And I, for a really brief minute, wanted to be a swimming coach or a swimming teacher.
Okay.
But to be a swimming teacher, you first have to be a PE teacher.
Oh.
And swimming is just about the only sports that I can say I'm good at.
I see.
And so I gave up on being a PE teacher. Yup. Into the trash.
Okay.
But then I still wanted to be a teacher. So I thought about what else I had accomplished or what else I was good at. And I realized that I had managed to learn English.
Okay.
So I didn't speak English until I was 10. And when I started learning English when I was 10, and then I got into high school and I thought, you know what, maybe I can use my experience of learning English to teach other people how to speak English.
Okay.
And
now, you were having that thought because you wanted to, like, you were thinking, oh, what can I do with my life? What kind of job could I get? Is that okay?
Yeah, I thought, I want to be a teacher. What do I know and what can I teach?
Okay.
And my answer was, not math or science.
Math. Let's not go there.
Throw it away.
I'm not even hearing math right now. Yikes.
But my answer was English. And so I decided to try to go to schools in America. So a couple of schools said, yes, you can come to my school and learn how to be a teacher. And I decided that out of the cities that were my options, I wanted to be in Boston.
Okay, great. Now, we're getting a lot of questions coming in from Jolie, David, asking us a little bit about traditional food. But let's talk a little bit about food then. Let's maybe have a food story here. Now, Boston obviously has some famous food chains and some, a decent food scene, I would guess. Now, when you were at university, obviously, it's normal to get homesick or normal to feel like, oh, I'm missing things from home. So maybe you could like compare and contrast some traditional foods from Japan that you were missing or thinking about, and maybe some new foods in Boston that you were like, oh my god, this is great.
I think one of the things that I really missed when I lived in Boston was Japanese curry.
Japanese curry. Have you guys had that? If you did, give a thumbs up or say, yes, I've had curry. Okay.
Hey, it's different from Indian curries or Thai curries. It's not as spicy. It was something that my mom always made for celebrations and anniversaries and birthdays and stuff like that for special occasions. And I couldn't find a good store for that in Boston.
Were there many Japanese like kind of restaurants in Boston, or?
It's funny because in Boston we have like Asian restaurants.
Okay.
So if you go to a restaurant and they will have a selection of foods from Asia.
Like pupcum from maybe Thai, maybe Chinese, maybe Japanese, maybe a little bit.
Some Vietnamese food. Okay. But we didn't really have a restaurant that just had Japanese food.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay. Now, what about maybe for many of us at home, we're thinking like we think Japan, we think sushi. Is that also is that a big part of Japanese life or something you missed as well?
It definitely is. The Americans have an interesting take on what sushi is.
I'm sure. Yes. Let me guess. Bigger and more.
Yeah. But I've come to realize that one is not better than the other.
Oh, interesting.
I like the traditional Japanese sushi where it's rice and then a raw piece of meat.
Now that is that
nigiri.
Oh, nigiri. I got it. Yes. Okay.
And I like those, and that's what I usually have when I go to Japan.
Sammy's got it. Look at Sammy there. She put it there.
Yep, that Sammy emoji right there.
Oh, hey, Tom. Tom's saying wasabi.
Tom. Wasabi is not for me.
Oh, no. Wasabi for Mr. Dave, though. I love wasabi. So you're not a spicy kind of gal.
I'm not a spicy kind of gal.
Okay, interesting.
Not at all.
Okay, now maybe let's talk about then, what about food in Boston? Oh, look at that.
Oh, I miss food in Boston every day. There is a market called Faneuil Hall where they sell really good clam chowder that comes in a bread bowl.
Clam chowder. You guys know what clam chowder is? That's right. Thank you. Clam chowder. Clam chowder. What can we say is in clam chowder? It's kind of creamy.
Yeah.
It's like a milk-based creamy soup.
It's like a stew.
Yeah, it's very thick soup. Stew-like.
Usually has like potatoes. Bacon.
Ooh, could have some bacon. And
clams.
Of course, we have clams. No, you got no clams, right? No, right? Yeah. It's a very creamy soup. Very, I would say like it's really good. In my opinion, very good in the winter time.
Yes.
Hot soup in the winter, very hearty. You feel really full after.
It warms you up.
Yeah, you have like 8 bowls. You feel great. Anyway,
who's having 8 bowls?
Well, you don't want to admit you have 8 bowls, but you had 8 bowls. Anyway, so okay, you have clam chowder. What else might you have? You kind of miss
lobster rolls.
Lobster rolls.
Yeah, I had never had lobster before going to Boston because in Japan lobster is expensive and it's considered a delicacy. Meaning something that's not found.
Kind of like a special thing. You wouldn't have it too often. Okay, so lobster rolls, great. So it's like a little roll, and then you put the lobster there, and it's like
it's like a lobster meat mixed with mayo and some pepper and some lemon.
Wow. Whew, now, is that hot or is that a cold sandwich kind of thing?
It could be both. Ooh. Either or. You could have the one that I had that was interesting was the bread was hot, fresh out of the oven, but the lobster part was refrigerated.
Interesting.
So It was a weird temperature thing happening there.
Okay, we got a quick question here from Jolie. Jolie's asking, Miss Kanako, tamago is eggs, right?
Yes.
All right, look at that. You mean just like the egg?
Yeah.
Egg. Oh, okay. Yeah. Wow, that's interesting.
Look at you, Jolie.
What about Tom's asking about hot pot? Japanese have a lot of hot pot? Is that a thing? Or Boston have hot pot?
In Japan, we have shabu shabu.
Ooh.
Which,
shabu shabu.
I guess the way I see hot pot is you put all of the ingredients in the pot, right?
Uh-huh.
And you let it cook. But in Japan, shabu shabu means you take the meat and then you kind of dip it into the hot water just enough that it cooks.
Ooh.
And then it's out. You don't keep cooking it.
Yes, that's very good. So maybe you take some. You can take like some beef, like maybe do you have Wagyu? Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Oh, and you take it in and you boop, 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 and then kind of stir it and then it's done and you eat. And then, yeah. Okay. Now, really quickly, back to Boston. There's a couple things that I think maybe I'm not from Boston, not live in Boston, but I think is it Dunkin' Donuts?
Oh, Dunks. Yup.
Okay. See, this is fun, guys, because even though I'm from America, we don't have a nickname where I'm from for Dunkin' Donuts. We just say, go to Dunkin' Donuts. But Kanako's from where's from, so she calls it
Dunks.
Dunks.
Yeah. You know, you message your friend in the morning and say, hey, I'm going to stop by Dunks. What's your order?
That's exciting. Now,
a Dunks run.
That's very interesting you said that. So, we're going to Dunks. What is your order?
My order is a medium iced coffee with cream and caramel.
Ooh. Mm-hmm. Okay, iced coffee. How about you guys? Do you guys like iced coffee or hot coffee? You know me. I'll take all the coffee. But what about you? Oh, how about donuts? Juan is saying donuts.
Boston cream donuts.
Okay, Boston cream.
Yeah.
Nice. There's a long. Is that the long one? And it's got it's a circle?
Circle
with
the cream inside.
Ooh,
with like custard inside.
Nice.
Glazed in chocolate.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh. Yum.
All right. I know what I'm doing after this interview.
Tim Hortons. We do not have Tim Hortons, at least in the city of Boston. Yeah. Anywhere near where I was, we didn't have any Tim Hortons. So
okay. I have a Tim Hortons in my hometown. My hometown of Toledo is quite close to Canada. So my guess is probably that Tim Hortons are in cities that are closer to Canada. Could be. But yes, I always went to Tim Hortons, got an ice cap and some Timbits, and had a great time. Okay.
Sammy.
Oh.
What is the dessert that's popular in Japan?
Oh,
I don't.
Do you have flan?
No.
No flan.
I would say mochi is very popular.
Mochi. What is mochi?
Mochi is sticky rice that you mix together.
Sticky rice?
Yeah, so sticky rice, you steam it up, and you either it's really hot, and usually you use a wooden bowl and a wooden stick to beat the rice together so it sticks together.
Are we heating it or are we beating it? What's going on?
Both.
Oh my.
We're gonna like
you're gonna beat it.
Like smush it so all of the little grains stick together.
Okay. And then what?
And then you eat it.
You just eat rice? For dessert?
Yes.
Boring. Oh, no, I shouldn't say that.
And you can do different flavors. So the thing with rice is that
are they saying ice cream? Is that the thing? Oh.
Yeah, it'll
different
be good.
Flavors.
Yeah, mochi ice cream. So you can so it's stretchy.
This is exciting.
Yep. And so you can put ice cream in it and then you can close it, right? You can wrap it. You can wrap your ice cream in mochi and then freeze it.
Huh.
So good.
What about bread or like baked things? Do they allow?
Baked cheesecake is a thing. In the last few years, baked cheesecake has been a thing.
Sounds great.
Yeah, one of the popular things is like a little tart.
Okay.
With a crust.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like cheese in the middle.
Ooh.
Yeah.
This is very exciting.
Yeah.
How about you guys? You guys ever go to, there'll be some Japanese sweets, Japanese bakeries in town? You ever buy any of those things? Tom keeps saying noodles. I guess we have a lot of noodles, ramen.
Yeah, we have
noodles.
ramen and soba and udon noodles.
Okay.
They're all made from different ingredients.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, what about seaweed? Is seaweed a big thing? I mean, we see seaweed snacks and things here. Is that a big thing in Japan?
Yeah, seaweed is big. I think, though, in Vietnam, the more common ones are Korean seaweed. That's been...
They make it into sheets or something?
Yeah, and it's usually flavored with sesame oil.
Okay.
Or sunflower oil, some kind of oil.
Okay.
Whereas Japanese seaweed, you either eat it unflavored.
Okay.
Or it's flavored with soy sauce.
Okay. Now, is it always... sometimes I know you get... you guys at home, you get sushi... Or you order from and they get the little. It's like a string of bubbles. That kind of seaweed. There's like little bubbles.
Oh yeah.
They're kind of like fish eggs.
So in Japanese, they're called umibudo, which means umi means the ocean, and budo is a grape.
Oh, that's fun.
So the Japanese word for those like stringy bubble things,
ocean grapes,
are called ocean grapes because they
nice.
do look like grapes and they do come from the ocean.
That's true. There you go.
Yeah.
Now, would you also eat do they make like plain seaweed? Just like not processed?
So the ocean grapes are actually rare, and you can only find it in warm water, and so you can only find it towards the most southern part of Japan, and that's like their traditional food there. And then the sheet of seaweed that we have.
That's like
you can get that anywhere. Yeah.
Okay. Now, we're getting close to the time here, so we want to turn it over to you guys at home.
Sure.
Some questions. So right now is the time. If you're in there, you write some questions. And Miss Kanako will.
I've eaten mochi ice cream. Do you have strawberries and blueberries?
Yeah, what things grow? What things would grow? Do you have?
We have really good strawberries. We can grow that in Japan. Cantaloupes and honeydew are also. So the way Japan works, it's such a long piece of land that the climate up north is so different from
cold up there.
Right, the climate down south. And so each region of Japan has a different climate, meaning each region has different things that they can grow.
Okay.
So up north, where it's cold, strawberries and cantaloupes and honeydew, those are cold weather fruits. And then down south, you have like the oranges,
a little more hot
the
weather.
Citrus, and then in the middle you can get like really good peaches and grapes.
Ooh, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Okay. So just since we're in the interest of time, you're asking about what mochi flavor do you like?
Green tea.
Green tea.
Yep.
Okay. Do you know how to make any traditional Japanese food?
Yeah, I can make rolled sushi, so maki, right? And I can make a Japanese egg omelet.
Ooh,
those are really good. Yeah, that might be the extent of my cooking ability.
David is asking you about the tsunami of 2012.
So in 2011 maybe, I was in Japan. I was in high school. I was not in the area where the tsunami was or where the waves came, because that's up north, and I was in Tokyo, which is kind of in the center of Japan. But I did feel a really big earthquake, and my mom and I had to walk from the city back to our house because the trains had stopped and no cars were allowed. And we had to stop a couple of times because of the aftershocks, and the buildings were just wavy. And it was really scary.
Scary, man.
And I know the earthquake was nothing compared to the actual waves. But I think that's one of the times that I've most been scared in my life.
Okay. Well, Min and David, some people are asking about the flag, Japanese flag having a meaning.
Yep.
Japanese flag. Why is it a big red dot? I'm sure we can explain that one pretty
Somebody
easily.
has to be lazy.
We'll make an easy flag, just a red dot.
So Japan is also called the land of the rising sun, and the red circle in the middle is the sun.
So,
Oh, Dave.
case closed. That's easy. That's an easy one.
Yeah.
Okay. Are there any more questions, guys? What's your favorite weather in Japan? Well, that's interesting. So we know we have the season, like spring. You have the cherry blossoms.
Yeah, spring is cherry blossoms.
Mhm.
Summer is not as hot as it is in Vietnam, but it gets pretty close.
Do you know what, like you could say roughly, like
I'd
30?
say,
or?
yeah, 30 would be the highest.
Okay.
And then I think fall or autumn is my favorite because the leaves change color.
Ooh, yeah, it's a good time in America too. Boston must have loved driving.
Yeah,
and
you're kind of going from like sweating to back to being a little bit cold.
Yeah.
Winter in Osaka is not really cold. It's maybe about 10 degrees, if that.
Wow.
Whereas up north in Sapporo, Hokkaido, where my parents live right now, it gets to be about negative 20 degrees.
Okay. Could you, Sammy is asking about some important places or maybe some important maybe areas of Japan, could you say?
Yeah. So Tokyo obviously is the capital. It's the biggest city in Japan.
Sure.
But Kyoto, which used to be the capital about 150 years ago, there's a lot of traditional temples and castles where the emperor and people in charge of Japan used to live.
Okay, great.
Those are two places that I recommend going.
Okay, now Tom just keeps writing the word sports, so I'm gonna go ahead and try to interpret this as what kind of sports are popular in Japan. My personal favorite, I don't know about you guys at home, but I am in love 100% with sumo. Yep. It is beautiful. It is awesome. One of my favorite of all time, Akebono. I know he's not exactly Japanese, but I think he's one of the best. Hawaiian. But I think one of the best sumo of all time. Yeah. So maybe if you want to talk about that, or is there kendo or sword fighting? Or what's some popular things?
Sumo is definitely popular, but it's not it's seen as like prestigious to be a part of the sumo community.
So it's prestigious, meaning it's like very high class, very like
it's important. Yeah,
very important, and so awesome.
The training is really difficult. Right now, the rule in Japan is only men can play sumo.
Oh.
Yeah. So we got to do something about that.
Yeah, there should be women's sumo too. There should be all people sumo.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, but I do know that sometimes with tradition, some things they will say, "Oh, it's tradition." Like I think for a long time that even Japanese people were not able to. Like you mentioned, the guy, but I think he was from Kazakhstan. The other really famous guy, or he wasn't from Mongolia. That guy. No, but there's another really. He was at first he was not allowed in because he wasn't
Japanese, and I think it's only in the last maybe 20, 30 years that people outside of Japan are able to play at a professional level.
Right. Yep. So I cut you off. I'm so sorry. But any other sports? Like I know we think of martial kendo.
Yeah, you talk about kendo. Kendo is like it's like fencing,
wooden
but Asian.
Sword. It's like
Yeah. You have like protective gear and you whack people with a stick.
Yes. All right. Okay. Are there any last questions? We're getting up to the time limit, guys.
Baseball is popular. Soccer.
Baseball, very fun in Japan. One of the best of all time. Ichiro.
Yeah.
Icon. Look at that.
Legend.
Legend icon.
Legend.
Amazing. Ghibli? Do you watch Studio?
Yeah, Studio Ghibli.
I don't know what that is.
You know My Neighbor Totoro?
Oh yes.
Yeah, that's the studio. So they make animation films.
Okay.
Yep. I love those movies. They are, I think, now on Netflix. Just for your information, you can watch some Studio Ghibli movies on Netflix now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I wish they would put Dragon Ball Z on there because Dragon Ball Z is my favorite.
Oh, I've never seen it.
You never seen Dragon Ball Z?
No. Too young.
What? Too young? Spirited Away.
Spirited Away is so good. Yeah. So that's a Studio Ghibli movie as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, we're coming up to the end here. And so I hope that you had fun. Yes, One Punch Man. We always seen all of these.
Ethan.
And Ethan been to Japan. So remember, guys, we have a brand new special guest on Friday. Fridays is special guest. I can give you a preview.
It's me again.
It's not you again. Friday's special guest works for a shoe company, a world famous shoe company.
It's me.
It's not you. So if you want to learn a little bit about shoes, shoe company, get a little inside info there. A good friend of mine will be on Friday, same time, 1:30. So I hope to see you there. Once again, thank you so much to Miss Kanako. Give us some applause.
Thanks,
And
Dave.
thank you so much.
Thanks, everyone, for asking lots of questions. Once we get back to school, I'd be more than happy to answer any more questions that you have.
All right. Thanks, and bye-bye.
Bye.